the beginner and the intermediate. In the phase one, the beginners intermediate class, we are having a review. That review is going to offer us the opportunity to assess. Assessment is important in life. Assessment is not to be able to be body or to be able to say, no, you are not good in life. That's not it, or you can't make it in Forex of assessment. You must perceive what we are part of the process to be able to where your problem is coming from, or if you are following. For a person who is going to Lagos, way to Kano, and the person was heading to Lagos, in that process, on his way, is on his way to Kano already, not Lagos Road. This actually going further if he has missed the way. What he needs is to retrace himself. It is important for we to have an assessment about everything we are doing. There are a lot of people, they don't know why they are failing in Forex. And one of the reasons is because there is assessment of what they are doing. Submit themselves to be assessed. Like, okay, did you taught? Okay, you were taught about trend line. And have you been able? So nobody, they are just looking for shortcuts where they hand over success, tell them, take this indicator or take this price action strategy. See, listen to me. No matter what they rate hard work, diligence are not developed by conscious and intentional efforts. And that is the secret for success, for mastery. If you do not put hard work into learning whatever is passed to you here, it will be an information. Information will never change you. What will change you is the I call it the law of engagement. That information without action will never change any man. It will rather make that man worse than he met the man. It will make the man to be suffering for what? Please write it down. What I call non-ignorance. Non-ignorance is that kind of ignorance somebody suffer from when something and he assumes he knows something, and to an extent he knows it, but it's not working for him. It's a non-ignorant. K-N-O-W-N, non-ignorance. Every time he knows where the market is going, except that he's failing. His result does not reflect it. So, come, let's do assessment. I already passed this level. I know it already. Let's go to the next one. It's a non-ignorance. Non-ignorance will make you to be proud for nothing. Non-ignorance will make you struggle and cover your struggle with knowledge and tell people, no, make people believe you are doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we saying? Assessment will help us to be able to comb that known ignorance, some of the assumptions, some of the things, some of the lack of commitment on your part. That is what this assessment and review will bring to us. So in all this I'm saying, the fact and the point is this: without you passing this assessment, there is no need for you to go further. It's true that they have given you few conditions, fund your account. I'm sure you should have verified your account and funded your account, because that is the first. And secondly, now, it is the assessment. Why are we going further to teach you a higher thing when you have not even mastered the little one? So it is important. So ladies and gentlemen, it is step by step. You can't skip a class. I haven't said that. Before I hand over the class to Mr. Tijani, the assessment has been designed, and we have reviewed it also with Mr. Tijani, and it covers everything. There is nothing that you are going to see that does not cover what you were not taught. So what are you supposed to do? Go back to the videos. All the videos are there in the GTI, on the GTI YouTube channel. Make sure you do this, or else our supervisors or invigilators or guys, the people who are going to be going through this work with you, they will not permit you. And the intermediate class will be classified. It will be for just some people. It will not just be everybody, but everybody can participate if they want to. So please do not take it for granted. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this ninth short, brief meeting. Mr. Tijani, thank you so much. You are welcome.
Mr. MJ. So as we progress in this discussion, I'm going to be sharing my screen, and then I'm going to take you through some brief discussion that we have had in the past. Technically, I want to believe, can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, just type 2 in the chat box. I want to see 2 if you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, type 2. Okay, fine. And I have 2, a lot from guys here. So in the intermediate class, we talked about the basic of Forex. We talked about terminologies. We talked about the basic templates. And then we talked about the aside the basic template, we talked about creating a system, psychology of trading, money, and risk management. All these are things that are very vital to your growth in this business. However, we want to see that you have an understanding of what those things are all about before we proceed to the curriculum basic. However, I want to believe that if you're ready to work with me and with Infinos, with GTI, we all will move together speedily. Okay, so we're given a period of 2 weeks for you to practice, but I've not seen I'm sure that a lot of people are practicing, but just maybe because we did not demand for this appraiser, and then we've not been able to get much from you guys. So technically, I expect us to have a regulated community where things are well done. So in the intermediate class, things that we're going to be talking are market structure, how to map our charts, how to create the by heart determination, background introduction to equilibrium zone, traps, and then as in general market price action. We are not going to be depending on any indicator in this course of learning, aside the fact that we just have to have a mastery of things that matters, okay? And then you will be glad you do. You were a part of this process, okay? So we're going to talk about harmonicity in the model 2 of the intermediate class. This has to do with, I'm sure you have heard about harmonic pattern before, but you possibly do not know how it applies. So generally everything will be discussed in the basic class, in the intermediate class. Then we're going to talk about the smart money concept looking at the market maker's strategy, and then how you can create a let me say a business plan around the forex market. So as a quick one, I will take you through some of what we went through during our basic class, and then I'm sure you still have it fresh in your mind there, where we talked about let's see from current slide, where we talk about the definition of forex, the factor influencing the FS market at large, and then aside that, we spoke about market participants, how the central bank communicate with the major banks, and how the major banks communicate with the commercial company remittance, and then through the liquidity provider to the brokers, how those things are connected. We discussed that in our basic class, and I'm sure nothing is strange to us here. However, I add this concept that the market has all these things that you see that are connected under the market participants can be streamlined into just 3 conditions, namely the liquidity provider, the market flow from this source, liquid, from liquidity provider to broker, then to traders. Okay, so when your broker does not have a liquidity provider, a lot of things go wrong, and then we're going to talk about this in some other classes. So those are the tiers of participants in the forex market. So where we belong depends on our equity contribution into the overall pool of trading. Okay, as I say, individual trader cannot access the market directly. we need to go through a brokerage platform, and also the brokerage will take us, that connect us to the market through the liquidity provider. So this is the chain of events in the market, from liquidity provider to broker, from brokers to trader, and then the market is in this format. So that's how it works. Okay, so those are the tires. I want you to put that in mind, because you will need it to answer the questions during your appraisal period. Okay, now, aside the tires of whatever we talked about, what you need: computer, internet, or your laptop, a brokerage platform, and your startup capital. We equally talk about some advantage of Forex, and then I want you to understand basically what leverage is all about. Okay. We talked about the timing, the London time, and how we came about putting the 5 time zones into sessions. So please take note and then possibly understand this concept very, very well. So we equally talk about how to look at these zones, time zones, looking at the charts, and then we came up with the best time that we need to pay attention to the market, not just any time of the day. You need to pay attention to the market when volatility is high. And this period of high volatility is called the brink period. The brink period is a time where one more than one market overlaps at the same time. So this period of overlaps is called the brink period. Okay, it's called the brink period. That is the period of overlap in the market. So when two sessions overlap, we call it brink period. What happened? The volume of activities at that period is high. Okay. When the volume is high, these are the time you want to trade. These are the time your profit expectation can easily be achieved. You don't need to sit with the charts from morning to night and be looking like you want to influence the market. You're sitting around on your terminal from morning to night, day, Monday to Friday, Saturday, weekends inclusive. We will change the market in position. Rather, what change the market position is your commitment based on understanding of where it is going and how to play along the line with it. Okay. Now, we also looked at the time to trade, looking at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then 1 a.m. to whatever. Those are the brink time. We talked about Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Monday and Friday being bad days that you don't want to trade with. However, we talked about if you want to trade on Monday, limit your expectation because volatility is always very low since it is a planning week day of the week for major banks. And then fundamentals don't often come up on Monday. Rather, fundamentals start coming up from Tuesday to Thursday. Now, also Friday, fundamentals do come out, but sometimes Friday is the last working day of the week. And then there could be a situation by there will be loopholes that the banks want to cover up. So they throw up manipulations. So to avoid the cases of where you will have to lose all the profit you have made on Monday to Friday, or only on Friday because of manipulation, we suggested that if you must trade on Friday, limit your expectation in the market. I mean, limit your exposure. If you normally you trade with 2%, start using 1% on Fridays. This will become something that we will possibly say thank you, you follow at some time in your trading career. Okay, we talked about forex currencies, we talked about whatever. So those are the things that we talked about. I will employ you to possibly watch the video. However, our questionnaire will not but come up at this point. So that we want to know whether you are following. And the reason why the questionnaire is important is because we have 1 or 2 persons who possibly have not paid attention to some key or gray area within this discussion. MJ had a class on trading psychology. He talked about modeling in the market. What are principal modeling rules? As in, modeling has to do with how you can create a plan to grow your investment from one phase to the other over a period of time, applying some street principle, some street management skill. So those are modelings that you MJ talked about during is the psychology psychology of trading. Please watch the last video for this, and then you equally had this psychology of trading, psychology of strategy. What are the difference? How you can possibly play around those things. So we're not going to be possibly compulsing you to possibly cram everything. Rather, just understand it. And you do not have to get everything accurate in this assessment period. We want to see your attempt, whether right or wrong. Let's just see that you are attempting something, and then progress can be defined from your attempt. But why, if you do not do this, we just keep migrating, and this is not a course we have to finish. It's a course we have to ensure that people understand and then are able to take responsibility for their life. Okay. However, by the time you finish the intermediate, you would have been able to see a better in the market. And there, when I give you chart or trade plan, you are not taking it blindly because I give it. Rather, you are taking it only based on understanding. So in that regards, after this intermediate, you are supposed to be seen like I see, and possibly consider what I see as okay, and I should consider what you are seeing as okay, based on what we both understand about the market. In this case, I will become your high, then you become a high. You might be looking at EU and I will be looking at GU. By the time you and your mind is not on GU, by the time I post my view on GU, it gives you an head up, isn't it? It becomes a synergistic approach where we have so much on the table to enjoy together for why you do just need to. Maybe you're looking at a peer, but by the time we are all looking at a peer, maybe 50 of us are looking at 10 different peers at the same time. But not like we are telling ourselves, we now have about 10 trades to take for the day. Okay, you can see how it all goes, whereas your contribution or your effort is just on one pair. So it becomes a synergistic community where we can create a trading challenge and say we want to grow this from this point to this point, and then looking at the time frame, and we will achieve it together. That is what we call brotherhood. That's what we call synergistic room, and that is what the advanced class is all about. It's all going to be based on your understanding of this basic, graduating to the advanced, then graduating from the advanced to the basic to the intermediate, and the intermediate to the advanced. You will enjoy this. So I will likely want to take you through some part of the questionnaire, and then I want you to pay attention strictly to this. Okay. You might some part of the questionnaire has this part of the questionnaire has answer applied, but maybe because I didn't talk about it in the very first place. So I just want to make sure that everything is in place this time around. Okay. If you take a look at this, we talked about basic class review and practice questionnaire. Now, why is Forex considered is decentralized market? Discuss briefly the how political instability affect the exchange rate. Discuss the tires involved in speculative market. You can see I provided the answer here, but I just wanted to discuss how. Liquidity providers are banks, brokers are the one that you open account with, retailer or traders are you and I, and then how it all linked together. Just put it in your discussion. Okay, what are brink period and what role does the bank play in its formation? Discuss the relationship between the margin and leverage. What is a leverage? What is a margin? How are they related? Okay, these are things that we want to see that you understand. Because the reason why we want you to understand this, because you have to understand. If you don't understand margin call will come as a surprise to you. If you don't understand how this thing works, you will not understand risk management properly. If you do not understand leverage and margin, your risk management knowledge is close to zero. So this is where this question is very important. Just discuss it. There is no right or wrong answer. Let's just see your view, your own conceptualization of what was taught in the basic. Okay, area on chart where support or resistance upon violation change role is called, what is it called? Is it called a support again or called resistance? As me, when a support is violated, it becomes resistant. When resistance is violated, it becomes a support. But there's a particular name that I mentioned during the basic class, and that is the name I want you to possibly find out. So if all things being equal, you go to the 3 video and then you will find out that discussion. Okay. Now, why is it necessary to create a profile on Forex Factory and my FS book prior to setting up our filter and then maybe the timing? The reason possibly I want you to find out in the video, maybe in the day 2 video, you will get it there. Now, what fundamentals are worth paying attention to and why? Do you need to pay attention to all the news that you keep seeing? Do you need to monitor tweets and before you trade for a living? No, we did not say that in the whatever. But what particular news are worth paying attention to and why? I'm not teaching you how to trade fundamental. Rather, I'm teaching you how to use fundamental as your trade plan parameter. Then you need to discuss how to monitor sentiment and what premises is sentiment analysis based. Okay, so if you understand sentiment analysis, you should know the reason why we follow sentiment analysis in our discussion. list the basic 6 parameters captured in candlestick. Okay, the likes of high, open, low, close, whatever. There are 2 I'm not going to measure. You just have to find that, okay, and put it there. If you draw candlestick, I will be very happy. For instance, I will take you to this chart, and then I can show you what candlestick possibly look like. Okay, look at candlestick here. Current. So these are what candlestick look like. You can see something like this. These are candlestick. So the parameters that are captured here are the high, the low, the close, the open, the parameters. Just make sure that you understand those 2 parameters and then bring it on board. Okay. I think the 3 videos talked about, it's either the 2 or the 3 videos talked about that extensively. So I want you to possibly give me that view. Okay. Differentiate between formation and bias of a candlestick. These are very key. Watch the day 2 or the 3 video, and then you will know about the formation and bias. Please pay attention to this. Do it. It's for your own good. I wouldn't mind if you feel like you can submit your assignment to any of the admin within the group, and immediately your assignment is submitted, you are migrated. And when we get just 10 people that submit their assignment, the first 10 people that submit their assignment will be migrated, and the date for the intermediate class will be fixed, and it has to be immediately. Okay. Now, discuss briefly the importance of line chart over candlestick. At what point do you need to put your chart to the line chart or keep it on candlestick? In what way is support different from demand? Okay, create an annotated chart differentiating supply and resistance. I want to see that you understand these two terms: support, resistance, demand, and supply. What are they actually? Just pay attention to the video and you can get it out. Now, 240 EMA is considered to be the trend line, true or false. This one is just very easy. Just pick either true or false. Okay, and if you are going to be picking true or false, whatever you are picking, just put a simple description of what you understand about trend line and 240 EMA. It will be fine. But like I said, none of this question has a right or wrong answer. We just want to see that you are paying attention to our whatever. So do not feel bad like I don't want to, whatever to consider me to be dull. Fine, it's better you are proven to be dull than for you to be confirmed to losing your hard-earned money. The point is, do not look faces when it comes to learning. Now, if you look faces, the worst thing is when you have margin call, it is your hard-earned money, not mine. And then this is not what you want to bargain for. It could be frustrating. So this time around, be very, very involved in the process and understand this skill thing. Okay, pick a chart showing 240 EMA play how 240 EMA play a major role as dynamic support and resistance. This question is basically an answer to question number 15. Okay, just understand what I mean here, then you will get it. So what you do here is just open a chart, put 240 EMA on the chart, or if you don't mind, if you work on your PC, just load the template. The platform that I sent to the group. Open it and then install it on your platform, then load it, then you will see this EMA and the RSI automatically set. So you can see the position of the market relative to 240 EMA, and then you can talk about what you understand about how the 240 EMA act as dynamic support and resistance on the chart. More than often, market will always make a pullback to the 240 EMA and then bounce to continue the current trend. Okay, you will understand this. You understand the beauty of this with the more you look at charts. Attend to this question with all your heart, and then you'll be glad you did. Now, area on chart where 2 or more technical tools come together is called confluence zone. I call it confluence zone. I decided to put the answer here so that you will not be giving me different suggestions. Confluence zone, that means when 2 or more technical tools come together, maybe trend line and moving an MA or support and resistance plus trend line or whichever, just 2 basic technical tools. When they come together at a point, they become confluence. When you see a confluence zone, it is giving us more confidence in that region that market will react to it. Okay, so the more your ability to identify confluence, you will identify confluence only if you know what confluences are. And then when you see confluences, you have seen real money on the floor. It's just for you to pick it. The more you can identify these confluences on your chart, the better your trading career will be as an individual. Now, discuss the relationship between 240 EMA and 55 EMA. I have to come back again. Okay, how do they even interplay? Why do we have to put 55 EMA on our chart, and what role does it play? This is where it becomes very necessary that you understand the basic charts or template that we discussed in the basic class. Okay, what are ED divergence and how are they different from classic divergence? This actually suggests that you understand what divergences are. Divergences in this case are very principal because more than often all the reversals in the market will be pointed out by a sign of divergence. Like I said, what are the ED divergence and how are they different from classic divergence? Money management is same as risk management, true or false. That's just it. Just pick either true or false. Okay, now that settles it. Now, list condition or factor that makes our risk control in trading. I don't know whether you understand that because I doubt if I don't think I have a session on this risk control, but I decided to put the answer here. Okay, your account size is very important. The person that has $1 million in his account will not be taking the same lot size as somebody that has $50 in his account. Okay. Secondly, the entry price you have is also very important because sometimes, like we said, the market decide what your top loss will be. For instance, now let's say the market was going like this. This is a level. Now the market had a drop like this. Now, if it does come back in the future that you want to take a sell at this point, now at this point you want to be looking at a possible sell. So if you say, let's say at this point you took a sell here, the person that took a sell here will put his stop loss a little bit above this level, right? Whereas the person that waited for this level to be taken out only to sell at this point will equally put his stop loss at this point. So the person that sold at 1 will be risking just small pips, Abby. But the person that sold at 2 will be risking big stop loss. Okay, so these two people will not have the same profit at the end of the day. Let's say the market hits this place, and the person that sold at 1 exit this market at this point. This will be his profit. But the person that sold at 2 will have this profit. So if you are going to be risking this much in the market, this will be your stop loss. This amount you are risking as stop loss will determine your position size, which is your lot size that you're going to be using. Now, in this case, these are what you need to consider when you are looking at risk control. It is either you take the sell at this point or you wait for a pullback and take this here, or you use a limit order to take it at this point. Those are the things that will become very practical for you when we get to the intermediate class. For now, just exercise patience and then it will be clearer as it goes on. Now, let me use 55 EMA as a case study. Let's say this is 55 EMA and let's say this is 240 EMA. Now, as market is coming up, we knew that the market will go to 55 EMA like this and then possibly start dropping. Okay. But in this case, you are going to be taking the market after the candlestick closed below 55 EMA at this point. Since we already know that when the market is below 240 EMA, the trend is bearish. And then we take a sell on recovery, on rejection of 55 EMA or drop below the 55 EMA at this point. It's either we take the sell if the market rejects here, or when the market closes below 55 EMA, we take the sell. Then if we're taking the sell at this point, this will become our stop loss, right? Let's say you did not see this market at this point. Now, you now decide to take your own trade, sell at this point. If you take your sell at this point, this stop loss still remains the same because you have to understand that the market has the possibility of coming back like this before continuing. So, peradventure you come down like this before continue, you are not taken out of this trade before you eventually come your way. You have to respect the last structure the market has created. So for those of us that possibly have learned Forex from some other area where we were taught that stop loss must be 10, 20, that is a bullshit. Your stop loss is never fixed. Your stop loss is determined by market structure. It's determined by what the market is currently doing. Sometimes your stop loss can be less than 1, can be less than 10, can be less than 20. Sometimes your stop loss can be as big as 100, depending on the time frame that you are dealing with. This has to be determined by the market you are trading, okay, which has to do with the volatility of the market. If you go to GBP SZD market, where the average daily range is over 213 pips, you will not use the stop loss of 20 on this pair. and compare it with something trading with Euro CHF, where the average daily range is about 30 pips. Okay, everything that this market will do in a day is 30 pips. If I want to trade this pair, my stop loss can be like 5 to 10 to 15 pips, and it will be very good because it's comparable to what the market's volatility is all about. But if I use 10 to 20 pips for GBP NZD, I'm just playing prank, I'm just gambling, and in no time I will be out of no money in this market. So you need to understand this thing, that markets determine where your stop loss is, and those factors that determine your stop loss position are the market structure, the volatility of the pair, and some other factors which you will learn in the intermediate class. However, the stop loss is equally very important. So when you understand your position of stop loss, you know how much you are risking, then you can anticipate how much potential TP you want to expect. For me, I always say my TP should be at least 2 times my stop loss in the market. My potential TP for any trade should be at least 2 times my stop loss in the market. That is what I consider to be acceptable trade. For any reason, for no reason should your stop loss be bigger than your TP. If for any reason your stop loss is bigger than your expected TP, then the trade is considered to be bad from the start. Scratch out, don't take it. Look to trade when the market odd is in your favor. That means when the market is close to the origin of the move. For instance, let's say the market started dropping at this point. Your stop, somebody that sold here, we have a stop loss here. So you now get to the market at this point. Don't take this trade again because your stop loss will be too big compared to, let's say this is the next support or support in this market. So if you look at this remaining profit margin that is here compared to how much you are going to risk, this is a bad trade. But if you still meet this market here, this will become your risk, and then your reward will be like this, which is still going to be a good trade. So if a market is too close to the next barrier and you are going to be risking too much than what you are going to be expecting, don't take that trade. Consider it as a late entry or bad trades. Don't take it. It is better you miss out on a trading opportunity than to get stuck in a bad trade. Therefore, you now replace your strategy with hope. Hope is never a winning strategy. People that trade with hope often exit the market in no time in a penury condition, and you don't want to subject yourself to that kind of situation. Okay. Now, having said that, then the risk exposure, that is, you have to decide whether you want to risk 2% of your account, 1% of your account, 3% of your account, 4% of your account, up to whatever you decide. But as far as this trade is concerned, never risk more than 2% of your account per position, and never go more than 5% of your account in your portfolio management. This becomes very, very important for a basic trader who is starting to learn Forex. But by the time you become a master in this business, you can decide to alter this and stick with it. But while you are learning, you need to stick with this principle. Sometimes, depending, you can even come as low as 1%. Okay. Now, but nevertheless, 2% to 5% wouldn't be a bad idea as a basic starter risk exposure in the market. What I mean by 2% is this. Let's say you have 100,000 naira in your account and you want to trade. You want to use 2%, calculate 2% of $100,000 naira. That would be like 2,000 naira. So this 2,000 naira is what will determine the contract size you want to place, factoring in the stop loss that is going to be at that particular point. That calculation, you will need it, but possibly I may have to discuss it in some other class as we progress in this discussion. However, the next thing you want to know is, now, like this question number 21, you do not have to answer it, but understanding account size, entry size, stop loss, and risk exposure wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. Now, what is the tripod stand for trading success? What I mean by tripod stand is this: there is a 3 basic pillar. Successful trading must be based, and these basic pillar are what I call the tripod stand. They cannot do without each other. So what are they? System, mind, which is trading psychology, and money management, money and risk management. Your system, which is called method, is very important. You must understand, you must have a trading system. Your trading system will tell you when to buy, when to sell, and where, and then what contract size, what all those things, and then the time to do it. This is what your system will tell you. Now, the mind is your ability to be patient with your decision as regards buying or selling or staying away from the market based on your strategy or your method. And then that is where the mind is. Then the mind is a factor of your discipline factor, your patience factor, all put together, and your emotional control all put into mind. Then your risk management, which is money management and risk management, comes in also. I have just technically provided answer for you based on what triple stands for. None of this, basically, either the method, the mind, or the money management, can be eliminated if you want to be successful. Your basic understanding of those those three conditions are very key, and that is why we all are here to learn Forex under this platform. Now, what is modeling? After you must have learned Forex, you must have learned one or two things. You should be able to create a plan. What are your goals? Where are you even driving to? Are you looking at becoming a short-term trader or a long-term trader? You have a going concern. Those are things that modeling actually entails. Then how to create a basic balance sheet of where, if I'm starting here, I'm getting to this level, this is my goal, this is my plan, and this is my achieving it. This is the percentage exposure, this is my percentage expectation by whatever. These are what trading model entails. Just watch the last day video that MJ had with us in this class. Then we talk about this modeling. I mean, it mentioned the importance of modeling. How is it modeling important to you? How is modeling is an integral component of successful trading? These are things that we want you to discuss in 24. Then the 25th aspect is listing three psychology or psychology. Trading psychology. Three, we have psychology of strategy and trading psychology. So we want you to discuss three basic trading psychology that you are aware of based on what was discussed in the last day of our basic class. If you do this with me sincerely and you are able to submit this outcome this night, then tomorrow we'll start our intermediate class together. However, like I said, we need the first 10 people in this category to submit the assignment. So you submit the assignment either, so don't put it in the group so that somebody will not claim it as his own. Send it to any of the admin. As soon as you send it to the admin and the admin review it, we will have a one-on-one session with you guys as you're submitting it, and then we will possibly prepare your mind as to where you have been wrong, what you need to go through, and whatever. Within the next 3 days, we want to conclude this process and then start this intermediate class afresh this week. However, we have a plan ahead that after this whole intermediate class, we should be able to have a challenge: 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000. It's not a big deal. We can always do it together, only if we commit ourselves to it. Now, this is it. You possibly will think that it's impossible, or it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be hard, but it's not going to be impossible. But technically, it all begins with believing in yourself, and believing in yourself, and committing to the process. Now, get it straight. We are not looking at seeing whether you are academically brilliant or dull here. No, we want you to have a self factor committed to this basic class understanding, and then we can migrate and grow together all this along. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to be calling our boss MJ Young to possibly give us some closing remark as this point. But before we do that, I would like to use the next 5 minutes, because this class should be ended by 10 o'clock, and this is 9:45. So I will spend the next 5 minutes attending to question and answer for one or two individuals. Then the last 10 minutes will be taken over by our boss MJ Young here. So if you have any question, just raise up your hand, and then I should be able to whatever. How can I get this video? The videos are uploaded to our YouTube channel, and you will all get it there. So in the group, just don't worry, the link to the YouTube channel will be posted, but let me see if I can just quickly search and send it here. YouTube channel, YouTube. So in the YouTube channel, you're going to see oops. So that's it. That's it. So I'll just copy this link, copy, then we can attend to this. So you have this video. So the link will be posted as soon as this thing is conclusive, and then you will get its charts to all panel and attendees. So that is the link, Control V. So just go to this wherever we have the day 1, day 2, day 3, day whatever, everything being uploaded. If there's any video that is missing, I can assure you that it will be uploaded before the next whatever. Just come to under the, you can see the videos. You can see them here. So those are the videos. That settles it. So with that being said, we can therefore proceed to the next question. All right. How can we submit? Once you are done, just chat any of the admin on the Telegram group and then submit your assignment to the admin. For most importantly, you can submit to me, you can submit to MJ Young, you can submit to Cassie, you can submit to Philomena, they all are admin, you can submit to Tope within the group. And then once this is done, then you'll be added to the intermediate class, and then we can kick off from there. Okay, thank you. When is the last day to submit? The last day to submit is left to you. You can wait to submit it next year, then you join the class next year. But what I'm saying that once we have the first term assignment submitted, that is all, then we can start the intermediate class. So it's not going to be left to you to submit. Okay. Please, I joined the meeting quite late. The video will be uploaded for you to possibly watch later on, but I'm sure you're not going to miss anything out. Okay, we ate. When are we to submit? Please submit anytime you like, but hopefully the earlier the better, and I can assure you that you will enjoy you did. Now we are to write on paper or on Microsoft whatever. Write it on paper, take a screenshot, write it on Microsoft Word, send it like that. Whichever you want to do it, just do it. Instead of you write on paper and take a snapshot, post it, or you do it on the Word, post it, or you do it on chat, screenshot and post it. Just make sure that you are able to attend to it. Sometimes if you want to make it a video, make it a video. Just make sure that you attend those questions with all priority on your side, and that settles a lot of things. Thank you. At this point, if there's no other question, I would like to welcome our boss, MJ Young. So MJ Young, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. TJ.
Yes.
We want to really appreciate you for this good work and the commitment you have shown towards this whole work. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize. Our risk and money management class will soon also come up in the course of all this thing. We apology from Mr. Narish in India. He actually lost his spiritual mentor. So he's in a morning stage and all season and stuff. So there was nothing I could do about it. So even though he actually wanted to take it last week, I said no, let him finish the time of, it's not easy to lose somebody so dear to him. So I didn't want to push him into it, let him finish it. We will still come to it. It's not that I cannot take it or Mr. Tijani cannot take it. We want you to just get from different sources, like Mr. Tijani said, I think about the last 2 meetings before I came up. So please, I want you to stay tuned. Please, next is take everything we have said very serious. Trust me, you will not always be having this thing. It is not free, even though it is free. You will not always have it. Now that you have it, pay the price. Pay the price for it. It is value. Pay the price. Do whatever it takes. Spend the sleepless night. Burn the midnight candle. Are you not amazed how Mr. Tijani has so much mastery? He can talk to you like this about Forex, like it is his name. Are you not amazed how MJ can talk to you about these things also like it is his name? I've always said it to millions of traders in Forex factory that none of us were born with the ability to profit in trading. We all developed it. We were not born with it. If any of us is good, it's because we committed ourselves to the process of developing we have. And so if you commit yourself to any process, I challenge you, give the first 1,000 anything. You will either find that thing or the thing will find you. Give the first 1,000 hour consistent to anything in life, whether it is good or bad. You will either find that thing or the thing will find you. It's a law. Spirit or whether it is you. Nothing is on our life. Nothing. It's a law. Try it and you will see. Nothing. If you give the first 1,000 hours to anything, if you give it to a devil, the devil will find you or you will find the devil. Nobody can escape it. If you give it to a deity, if you give it to the God of heaven, he will find you or you will find him. It is a law that helps you calls anything into your life. There will always be a point of intercession. Please write this down. Please write this down. Please, I want you to write this down. I want you to write this down. Whatever you are looking for in destiny will not meet you at home. It will meet you at the point of commitment. Whatever you are looking for in destiny will not meet you at home. It will meet you at the point of commitment. It means you cannot sit at home. You can't sit doing nothing and find whatever you are looking for in destiny. It's not true. But if you go out at the point of commitment with obedience, that thing will meet you there. It may meet you halfway. It might meet you quarter to finish. It might meet you almost at the finish point or even at the starting point. But one thing is certain, it will never meet you at home. Not even God meets people at home. Not even God. He doesn't. He must meet you at the point of your commitment. So the secret of doing this thing is doing it now. If why other people will go to sleep, I want you to make up your mind. I want to exceed my tutors. I want to know it like them. I want to commit to the process. See, Mr. Tijani said something very important and powerful. We are finishing by 10. Please follow us. Mr. Tijani said something. He said, this is not for we to tell whether you are intelligent or not. That is not the aim. To say, okay, this one is better than this person. This is your IQ. If you keep looking at it from that perspective, you will never commit to the process. You will never commit to the process. So it is important you embrace this whole thing with your mind. Very important. Embrace it with your mind. So if you want this thing, if you want mastery, you want to make money, you want to master this thing, you want to do it, start this night. What are you doing with your time? Young guys, young girls, what are you doing with your time? See, I challenge you. Time is the currency for destiny upon the earth. I challenge you this night. I put a challenge to your heart. Please, I don't understand how people successfully sleep successfully when they are not earning 100,000 per month minimum in Nigeria economy. Minimum. I wonder. I will submit to you that if you are not earning times 2 of your age, something is wrong. Please, sorry. You might be offended, but please take this offense to give you a challenge. Take this offense and sow it into more hours of learning. Take this offense and convert it into challenge. If you are not earning twice your age, truly you are struggling. In other words, if you are 30 years and you are not earning minimum of 60,000, something is wrong. Take it from me. If you are 50 years, you are not earning minimum. I'm talking about everything. See, let me explain this, why I'm saying this, because you say, okay, MJ, is it because God? No, I believe this thing for long. It has been my convictions. It has been my conviction. Let me tell you something. I want you to check almost every expenses that circulate around your life. It hardly exceeds twice your age, the income of twice your age. Go and check it. When you were at the age, if you are at the age of 25, I want you to study yourself right now. If you're at the age of 20, most of the problem around you right now, personally, does not exceed 40,000. It can solve it. If you are the age of 30, most of the problem, I'm just giving you for you alone. I'm not talking about your mother is sick. That's not what I'm talking about. So if you are, so the minimum, that's what I'm telling you, the minimum is twice your age. Twice your age. So why will you feel comfortable sleeping all night? Why will you feel comfortable sleeping all day when you have not even done anything to your finances? I want us to rise and put our time and energy to work. Get upset. Get upset. Your finances will change not when you are at home. It will change when you step out and even what you are pursuing meets you at the place of obedience, meets you at the place of commitment, meets you at the place of diligence. Let's step out. They say, go and look for money and fund your infinals. Do it. They said, go and study this thing and submit. Don't be waiting and say they are going to give you no ticket here. If you call MJ number, if you call my number and say, sir, you see, I never had time to study. My friend, let me tell you, explanation won't open this door, you see. Just, it's because of these excuses will not, they will always come. But I want all of you guys, this is an opportunity. Now, what is the second reason why you should take this serious? It is because it is a seed of appreciation to your mentors. You see, whenever a man, obedience is a seed of appreciation to mentors. Whenever a man is obedient, he is not just gaining, he is sowing a seed of appreciation. It's one of the ways you appreciate the people who invest into your life. So if you are not obedient, if you don't comply to the things you are taught, to mastering them, you deprive your mentors, your teachers of the joy of fulfillment. In other words, Mr. Tijani and myself will not be fulfilled after this commitment, this time. Imagine, Mr. Tijani is having families, having, do you understand? Kids. I remember today, sorry, let me just say it on, we were having a meeting with Mr. Tijani in the morning on Zoom. And I remember hearing, I think his daughter's voice saying, Daddy, please feed me. Daddy, please feed me. And he said, I'm coming. I'm on this thing. I will do that. I remember hearing that. Now I was like to my heart, oh God, this man is sacrificing to be here when he has other things calling for his attention. So how do you reward this man? How do you appreciate him? You can't pay him much. Yes, sometimes you send card, you can do that, you can do every form of appreciation, I know. But then, apart from that, one of the most important one is the seed of obedience and commitment. It shows him that these people are committed. It gives him joy, and it gives me joy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have just 1 minute to go, and I want to say it to you again, that obedience and commitment are seed of appreciation to mentors. And one of the truths is this: the harvest and the reward for the seed of obedience or the seed of appreciation is multiplication. Mentors multiply knowledge when they are well appreciated. Mentor multiply knowledge to mentees when they are well appreciated. When you represent yourself by appreciation, you get the reward for it is multiplied knowledge. I'll tell you the truth. There are things that you place a demand for without just, a word, by reason of commitment, obedience, and appreciation. There are things you call for it. So you'll be surprised. The person is giving you extra time. You'll be surprised. The person gives you special attention. You know why? It is the harvest for your obedience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I want to really appreciate you. And we want to say, as we are going off, the assignment starts now. Thank you so much, Mr. Tijani. I want to really appreciate you. My team, GTI, and the whole house, we are saying thank you. We love you, and God bless you, Mr. Tijani.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. MJ. I'm really happy. Everybody, you've heard it all, and then this is just the beginning of our trading success. So let's get on board and let's get everything Perfectly done. Thank you very much, everybody. So we can now go back to our personal abode and do the needful. Bye bye.